The courtroom felt ice cold that day. Every eye in the room was on me, and most of them carried pity or disgust. My younger brother Daniel stood up straight, looked at the judge with tears in his eyes, and said the words that broke what was left of my heart. "Your Honor, my sister Sarah has completely lost her mind. She needs to be committed for her own safety." I sat there in shock, my hands shaking in my lap. How did we get here? My name is Sarah Mitchell. After our parents passed away, I became everything for Daniel. I ran our family company, sacrificed my own dreams, and made sure he never had to struggle. I was the big sister who protected him, loved him, and gave him the world. But love can blind you to the darkest truths. It started with little things. Money vanishing from accounts. Contracts appearing with my forged signature. When I asked questions, Daniel would hug me and say softly, "Sis, you're just stressed. You're imagining things again." He slowly turned our staff, our friends, and even distant relatives against me, whispering that I was becoming unstable. One rainy night, I discovered the full truth. He had drained millions. He had created fake trails pointing to me as the thief. And worst of all, he had paid doctors to prepare reports declaring me mentally unfit, so he could take full legal control of the company and leave me with nothing. My world shattered. The brother I raised had become my worst enemy. I cried until my chest hurt. Then, with whatever strength I had left, I filed a case against him in court. That decision almost cost me everything. The betrayal cut deeper than I ever thought possible. In every hearing, Daniel played the perfect worried brother. He wore expensive suits and spoke with a trembling voice about how much he loved me and only wanted me to get help. His lawyers painted me as a paranoid, delusional woman who had lost touch with reality after our parents' death. Witness after witness, people I trusted, stood up and said I had become erratic and unstable. One psychiatrist, clearly paid by Daniel, explained to the court how I suffered from severe delusions and paranoia. I felt completely alone. At night I would sit in my small rented apartment, staring into darkness, wondering if maybe they were right. Maybe the pain had driven me mad. The loneliness was suffocating. Friends disappeared. Family chose Daniel's side. The more I tried to show the proof, the more crazy I sounded. But there was one part of my life I had never told anyone, not even Daniel. Before our parents died, before I stepped away to save the family business, I had served my country. I rose quietly through the ranks to become a major in special operations. I walked away from that world out of love and duty to my family. The same family that was now trying to destroy me. Day after day in that courtroom, I felt myself breaking. On what was meant to be the final hearing, I sat there exhausted in a plain black dress, ready to lose my freedom and everything I had built. Daniel sat across from me, already smiling like a man who had won. Then everything changed. The courtroom doors burst open with a loud bang. 12 elite soldiers in black berets and tactical uniforms marched in with perfect precision. The entire room fell silent. Daniel's face turned deathly pale. The lead officer walked directly to me, stopped, and gave a sharp, respectful salute. "Major Sarah Mitchell," he announced in a strong voice, "reporting as ordered, ma'am." Tears filled my eyes as I slowly stood up. All 12 soldiers stood at attention and saluted me in unison. The respect in their eyes healed something deep inside my broken heart. The officer turned to the judge and said, "Your Honor, this court has been deceived with forged documents and false claims against a decorated special operations major. We have complete evidence of embezzlement, forgery, witness tampering, and fraud committed by Daniel Mitchell." Pandemonium broke out. Daniel jumped up, panicking. "This is a lie. She's insane. You can't believe this." An officer calmly replied, "The only insane thing was thinking you could destroy your own sister, a major, and get away with it." They arrested Daniel right there in the courtroom where he had tried to bury me. As the handcuffs clicked on his wrists, he looked back at me with pure fear and disbelief. The same man who called me crazy now faced the consequences of his betrayal. That evening, as I stood outside the courthouse watching the sun go down, one of the officers approached me gently. "It's over, Major. Welcome back." The heavy weight I had carried for months finally began to lift. This nightmare taught me a powerful lesson. Sometimes the people closest to you can hurt you the most. But no matter how dark it gets, your true strength never disappears. It waits patiently for the moment you need it again. I'm no longer the woman who was called insane. I'm a survivor. A woman who learned that real justice doesn't always come loud and angry. Sometimes it walks in quietly, wearing black berets. If someone you love is destroying you, stay strong, stay silent, and never forget who you truly are. The truth always finds its way. And when it does, it sets you free.